Welcome back to L22 Sports Daily. That's James Marvs. I'm Ben Shrewsbury. We are here every single day talking sports for about 30 minutes. Uh, just a reminder, this show goes live every day at 8 p.m. Central Time on the YouTube and then the next morning on TikTok. So, James, how you doing today, buddy, before we hit the clock here?
Oh, I'm ready to roll, man. We got a good number of things to talk about here.
All right, the clock starts now. Let's get it going.
All right.
And Well, Dames, we got two Monday Night Football games to talk about. One was certainly better than the other, from everything I've heard, saw, thought.
I mean, look, it depends on who you're fans of. Because, I mean, one was thrilling in the fact that there was a bunch of scoring, and one just came down to winning as time expires. So, depending on your definition of what is a good game, I mean, you could look at either one of these games and say that, or if you are a fan of the opposite, you could say it sucked. So we'll start with the first game though, obviously.
And if you're a Bucks fan, I just think that game sucked last night. I think that game hurt you.
All right, so let's start off by saying Baltimore at Tampa was the first game of the NFL's Monday night doubleheader. Man, going into this game, I had Baltimore.
I think
I
everybody
can't
did.
bring myself to pick Tampa ever. Like, and it's not because they're not good. I think these two quarterbacks that played in this game are the one and two front runners for MVP. And certainly, dude, Baltimore is scary. Think about what Lamar Jackson did last year, and now he has Derrick Henry. Monster numbers. Let's go over the numbers first. Jackson, he was 17 to 22, 281 yards, five, count 'em, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touchdown passes. He had a near perfect quarterback rating, and he also ran for 52 yards on 9 carries. What's this guy eating for breakfast?
I want to know what this guy is not only eating for breakfast, but also lunch and potentially dinner.
Well, he ate
Uh,
Tampa Bay for dinner. That much
well,
I
we
can
knew
tell
that.
you. Dude, think about this though. King Henry, 15 carries, 169 yards, including an 81-yard scamper, which didn't result in a touchdown. But that's his second longest carry of the season. These guys, if they put it all together, are they unstoppable? Are they an unstoppable team?
I think so because Henry only had like four carries in the first half. Most of that was in the second half.
The only thing I worry about is their defense, man. And that's a funny story because they lost their defensive coordinator to the
You
Seahawks
guys.
as a head coach, and he had the number one defense for the previous 2 years. Well, he's gone now, and like I know that Baker got a lot of his junk in garbage time, like 21 points in the third quarter after he lost Mike Evans and
in
Chris
the
Godwin.
last minute or so. In the last minute, Godwin goes down with just the most horrifying thing you've ever seen.
Dude, I mean, it might have been a game had Mike Evans been in there. I This was a shootout. I mean, all the way through. But let's look at this too. Rashad Bateman had one hell of a game. Four catches. I think he had over 100
Former
yards.
Gopher, by the way, Rashad Bateman.
What's that? Former Gopher.
Former Gopher.
121 yards and a tutty. Mark Andrews had four catches, two of which were touchdown passes, which puts him ahead of Todd Heap for the most ever by tight end for Baltimore. Congratulations on that, Mark Andrews.
That
Um,
was only a matter of time. Like that was always
yeah,
going to happen.
yeah. And on the other side, Baker Mayfield he's like 31 for 45 for 370 yards. I think he had three touchdowns, but he had a couple of picks in there. I mean, that's the kind of play you got to expect with Baker Mayfield. He rarely ever plays a clean game. And that's okay.
That's kind of the knock on him, right? Is he doesn't play it clean all
Well,
the time.
looking at that, I can tell you, I'm done with the Cleveland Browns overall, just based on what's happened this week. But I think about they're probably wishing they had him now. I mean,
You're
don't
only just now done with the Browns?
I mean,
Only just now?
look, this is a whole other thing that we could get into on that, but um,
You're just now realizing that franchise
I'm
is
not
screwed?
realizing it just now. I'm saying the treatment that they put on Deshaun Watson, and I'm not at all a proponent of the things that he's done or been a part of, but he's a human being, and I don't have the case prepared for this right now. I will tackle it. I will tackle it on NFL
This sounds
tomorrow
like a different show.
tomorrow morning, and yeah, it's a shame, but
Can I be a fly
again,
on the wall for that show?
three
My
major
goodness.
injuries in this game, guy. Mike Evans looked like he had a hamstring issue. He went out early, did not come back. Godwin, they didn't even show the replay of what happened to him. Must have been so bad. And then Zay Flowers for the Ravens. They're promising young up and coming stud. I don't know these are just injuries to watch because I don't know. But if he lost those two receivers for the year, they might be done.
If Godwin's done for the year, they're in trouble. I think Evans is I think he's week to week, but I don't know.
Anyway, it was not a thrilling game to watch because the points that made it within a 10-point game didn't even come until the third or fourth quarter. But a testament to them, no matter what happened to them, they didn't give up. I do I do still wonder about Baltimore's defense giving up 31 points. Um, I
Kind of
realize
felt like they let off.
garbage time, garbage
Kind of
time.
felt like garbage time let off.
But I mean, they're 5-2, so we'll see where they go from there. All right, you want to talk about the second game now?
I didn't watch it. I was watching Raw.
That's fine. I did watch it. Uh, it was a lot of like just not very good play football. Um, Marvin Harrison Jr. was absent pretty much. He had a couple catches, nothing major. I think Kyler Murray, who I like to refer to as Mario, because he looks like Mario running around out there, his tiny little dude. Um, he was the difference in the game. I'll be honest with you. He was 14 of 26 for only 145 yards, a touchdown pass, and an interception. But he also ran for a 44-yard touchdown that it was crazy. It was a crazy scamper. And when most quarterbacks go out of bounds, he just found a way to stay in and he took it to the distance. James Conner, 19 catches or 19 carries, I should say, for 101 yards. He also had two catches for 51 yards. Herbert is throwing a bunch. He's throwing a bunch, 39
Too
times
much.
in
He's throwing too much.
349 yards. Well, I mean, look at this. He threw for a lot of yards, no touchdowns. They had five. Their kicker was 5 for 5. So let's give a coin to Cameron Dicker, I think his name is.
Dicker the kicker.
Dicker the kicker, 5 for 5 on field, including a 59-yarder to open the game, to open the scoring in the game. Um, just at 15, 17, lame. This is a lame, especially closer. This is a lame closer for the week. But the excitement comes knowing that Dicker the kicker was 5 for 5, but old Chad Ryland hit the game winner from 32 yards as time expired to give them the 2-point win. So I mean, while it was a lame game, at least it ended in a dramatic fashion. Hooray, Cardinals fans.
Finally, the Cardinals found a way to win a game after they looked darn near unbeatable to start the year and then fell apart again. I mean, that's not a playoff team, is it?
No, no.
Even if the Niners continue to fall apart, like
I guarantee you the Niners finish with a better record than the Arizona Cardinals. I guarantee it.
Even if they
Mark
don't
it.
get anybody back.
Yeah, mark it.
I don't know. Because I still don't know if Christian McCaffrey is going to play, and with all these guys going out, and now no McCaffrey still, I
Well, I look, I don't know if McCaffrey is going to play this year. And I'll be honest, the further that the timeline goes without him there, the further I'm leaning towards they should just hang him up for the season and let him get all the way better. But here's what's going to happen. They're going to be on the cusp of playoff contention, and everybody knows when that team is at full tilt, they can beat anybody no matter what seed that they have. So they will bring him back at some point. He will play this season, I'm pretty sure, even though, is it going to matter? I don't know, Ben. I don't know.
they could be out before he could come back. Like they could be out of it.
Well, if they're out, just hang it up. If they ever get
If
to the
Purdy
point where they're
plays
out,
like he did on Sunday again, they're in trouble.
I mean, look, he people still love this kid. People still think Brock Purdy's the way, the truth, and the light. And again, you and I, we don't have an argument to make that case, but I mean,
One, one. Okay, this isn't in the notes, but I did want to mention it briefly.
go
One
for it.
thing that broke during the Monday Night Football stuff last night. I don't know when this broke. I think it broke at halftime of the first game or something. Tua Tagovailoa plans on playing next week.
Yeah.
I I don't understand. Okay, we're not going to talk about it too much. I'll save it for
No,
we'll save it for
we
NFL tomorrow.
let's talk about it.
Uh,
He had press conference and he apologized to the people that are hurt by this. But
which was
he said,
weird.
I'm gonna play till I'm dead. That's basically what he said. He goes, I would die if I was at home not playing this game when I'm capable of playing it. So essentially, he's telling me that the the powers above him are gonna be the ones that tell him no more. Because as long as it's up to him, he's gonna play.
And someone eventually is going to have to pull the plug on him, like in
Don't
terms
say
of
it like
playing.
that.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I shouldn't have said it like that.
Jeez.
I say things sometimes that are stupid. Anyway, yeah, he's gonna play Sunday. I don't know why the Dolphins are basically dead. Uh, I mean, I crossed them off 2 weeks ago, but
All right, that's fair. I mean, they could still finish ahead of the Jets, and I hope they do.
I mean, me and you could finish ahead of the Jets if we really tried.
Well, as it looks right now, both of our teams will finish quite a few games ahead of the Jets, so
Well,
let's
yes.
only hope.
Well, moving on here, let's talk very briefly just a bunch of college football games this week, and we're not going to talk about it too much today. It's a bunch of top 25 rivalry matchups. We'll talk about that more as the week goes on here. But
Yeah, a lot of big games.
one thing I do want to spend a lot of time on is just kind of basketball in general because I feel like we got a lot of basketball stuff going on right now.
I like it.
Um,
Because why? Because the NBA tips off tonight. That's right, Benny. I'm excited.
I
I don't know. I'm
I'm
not
very
excited for my team. I mean, I'm excited to watch them overall, but I already know the outcome. We're going to be a lottery team,
potentially very highly a lottery team.
and it doesn't matter. I mean, whatever.
You could have the number one pick. That might be something worth getting excited for.
Well, historically, you don't want to give Portland the first pick of the draft, Sam Bowie, and then let somebody else take Michael Jordan right after that,
Greg Oden,
Kevin Durant. I
right
mean, it
after,
goes on and the list goes on and on. This franchise is effed.
cursed,
F.
cursed.
All right, so what do we
Uh,
got? We got two games tonight, which is perfect. I mean, with the amount of hockey, which we're going to talk about later, two games for the NBA tonight is just about perfecto. The
and
first
one
game,
thing I like the NBA did here is they're not tipping off an hour apart. They're doing it. The first game's going to end, and then the second game's going to start.
that's what happens when
NFL
you work the East Coast with the West Coast incongruent. Gosh,
NFL take notes. Take notes NFL. Take notes.
yeah, no kidding.
Roger take notes. Roger, are you paying attention?
Your buddy Roger. Hey, if you can do it, I can do it.
Listen, I don't like Roger Goodell any more than the next guy.
Who's the next guy?
You, I don't know.
You like him more than I do. I tell you that right now.
Well, I hate the guy, so
Okay, well, now you know where I stand. First game.
well, the Boston and New York, New York at Boston. I assume we're gonna see the whole banner raising and the ring ceremony and all that crap for 45 minutes before the game. But
Well, won't that be a good motivator for the Knicks? Having to sit through all that.
man, if I'm Jalen Brunson, I'm sitting there like, dude, this could have been us if everybody
Right,
didn't get hurt right away.
right.
If the team didn't just all fall apart right at the worst time possible.
Oh boy. Who do you got in this one?
Boston, I think Boston just comes out like a bat out of hell
Are
here.
they
But
going for a repeat?
if you listen to Missoula, it sounds like they're acting like they didn't win the title at all. So yeah,
You know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say the Knicks steal this little charade of a party from out from under the Celtics and bring them back down to earth. I'd love to see that. That's the only reason I'm predicting it.
now here's my thing with the Knicks. I, I love this team. I think this is the most fun Knicks team of my lifetime for sure. And I'm not even a Knicks fan, and I love this team. But I do think there's a world where this whole thing completely falls apart and Tom Thibodeau is fired by Christmas.
Oh boy. We'll keep our hats on that one.
I, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but I'm saying that is a thing that could happen where this whole thing just goes to hell and
Well, don't
Thibodeau's
you
gone.
think injuries would have to play a part in that? It's not solely going to be
No,
coaching.
no, because Towns and Thibodeau can't stand each other.
No, dude, winning solves a lot of problems.
Yeah, they won in Minnesota and it didn't solve anything.
Well, got them both out of there. Who wants to be in
Yeah, it
Minnesota?
did.
Who wants to be in Minnesota?
Anthony Edwards, who said today he wants
Well,
to be
well,
there for his
dude,
entire.
especially when you can play in the most prestigious venue in the entire league, which is Madison Square Garden. I mean, that's what makes the Knicks special to me, and that's why I love watching when the Blazers go there. Anyone go in there, it's a fun game to watch at Madison Square Garden, even if it's on.
Especially when that place is going, especially when it's rowdy
Man,
in there.
it's always rowdy in there. That's what makes it the Garden.
Eh, And Rangers games in there are always fun too, because that crowd during playoffs in the Garden is second to none. Anyway, the late game that we assume will feature LeBron and Bronny
Oh boy!
per Shamstrania.
So it begins.
So it begins. How long do we give Bronny before he's in the G League?
Well, I saw that Vegas is taking more bets on him being Rookie of the Year than they have for any other player in the history. And yeah,
What are
the look
what are
on your
his
face is
odds?
appro- the look on your face is appropriate. I don't know the odds, but they got to be ridiculous. And people are, I mean, it's stupid, dude. It's really stupid. So
Okay, I'm looking up the odds. Who do you have winning this Lakers Wolves game?
I
I
got the
don't think this
Wolves.
Lakers team.
I got the
I
Wolves.
don't.
I don't believe in the
I,
Lakers. I don't believe in Braun anymore. If you're about to break the all-time scoring record, and this is another indicator that Jordan is the greatest player that ever played. If Jordan was up for the scoring record and he made the scoring record in this game, there's no way he loses the game in which he gets the record. LeBron they lost the game. And I mean, how do you even I would be like, look, we didn't win the game, so don't celebrate me like this. But that's not
and not
LeBron.
only did they lose the game, but if I remember correctly, they blew it.
They blew it.
They blew
Yeah.
the lead. Oh,
Um,
but also, the Bronny James Rookie of the Year odds are from 250 to 1 to as long as 1,000 to 1. If you're betting this, you're an idiot.
just bet $5, Ben. You'll be instantly rich.
If he wins.
If you win, yeah, if he wins. But that's going to take a, a whole litany of miracles in a row. I will tell you this: it will be cool the first time father and son are on the court at the same time. And of course, it's at home, so the crowd will go crazy if Bronny gets his first points off of like an assist from his dad, or he gets an assist
how
to his dad.
obnoxious are these press conferences going to get when the media starts criticizing Bronny?
Oh, let's, I don't even want to wrap my head around that right now. I just want to take
Is
it one
JJ
game at
Redick
a
still
time.
there at Christmas?
I want to take it one game at a time and see what happens. But I got Minnesota winning this game. I guess I went with both the road teams for my choice. You're going to take both home teams?
I'm gonna take Minnesota.
That's
I
because
do
you're a
not.
home. That's because you're a homer.
Well, no, if they were playing like a good team, I would not be picking them. Like if they were playing the Celtics, I would pick the Celtics, but they're not. They're playing.
You have the Lakers outside the playoffs, do you not?
I have them in the play-in. I do not have them in the playoffs.
Okay. Winning the play-in to get in?
No,
Okay. Yeah, I don't
I
I don't know. I don't really understand. We'll have to talk about this mid-season, whatever. Because I still don't really understand it, but we'll get there.
let's talk a little bit about the WNBA because less than 24 hours after this whole
Dude, they
thing
had till
ended,
November 1st. They still had time to do this. Go ahead though.
they opt out of the CBA, which is weird because they still have a year left before it's actually like going to kick in and there could be a work stoppage. So they're going to play all next season with this whole thing.
Well, that's just it, man. They can't play next season until they come to an agreement.
No, they're saying they're going to play next year under the current agreement.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
So they didn't opt out.
No, they did, but it only kicks in after next year. So why did they do this now?
Yeah, that's a year. Okay, first of all, look, I I understand the wage discrepancy. I get that. It is true. It is what it is. But you've never been a self-sustaining league. And quite frankly, I tuned into the fourth quarter of game five of the finals, and I saw basketball that I've seen better basketball in the ghetto, if I'm being honest. Like it was not a quality product. The electricity in the building was palpable. I get all that. The fans are excited. The Caitlin Clark effect is in full effect. They are on the verge of turning a profit. But how do you do this when you've never turned a profit in the history of your league?
Okay, here's the counter. And I agree with you, but I'm going to zag slightly. The idea now, I think, for the players is they're saying, well, we all know Caitlin Clark is going to get more money than any of us, so let's try to get ours while we can.
She already signed a 4-year deal.
Yeah, but she's going to sign another. Obviously, she's going to get another contract. But
I don't know how you get out of the 4-year deal that you already signed. And quite frankly, she doesn't need the money. I honestly don't see her doing that. I don't see her making a stink because she
no,
has,
but I'm saying when her 4-year deal is up, she's going to get the max.
obviously she's going to want more money. Guess what? In 4 years of the Caitlin Clark, if things rate go on the rise 600, 700, 800, 900% year by year, which they can't possibly do, but they certainly did this year. And of course, they're like looking around going, nah, we got to do it now. We got to up everything now. And I just think it's the wrong time. You got to let
It,
sustain
it
this
is a
for a couple of
little
years.
irresponsible to
Yeah,
say
dude.
off a 1-year increase,
In July, the WNBA signed a new 11-year media rights deal. Okay, the
which is
partnership
actually a
with
joint deal with the NBA.
Disney, uh, Amazon Prime, NBC Universal, and that was valued at like over $2 billion. And if you count in all the media rights that are coming in after, it's close to $3 billion. So I understand that the maximum that you can make in the WNBA is 252,000. That's absurd. It's absurd.
Yeah.
They don't play as many games as the NBA, first of all. They don't generate the revenue, but that's a trend that's changing. And I would like to see them ride that wave up a little bit before they start making demands that could ultimately stop a stoppage in play is what I'm trying to avoid.
Because I think that would hurt them dramatically.
Oh, dude, if the WNBA off of this year goes next year without a season because they don't have a or the year after, whenever they decide to do this thing, it's all going to come crashing back down. And I'll tell you, if you don't see Caitlin Clark for a year, it'll disappear. The whole thing will disappear. Bad, bad business.
This is not going to be good for business if they don't play next season.
Certainly not.
James, for only the fourth time in NHL history tonight, we have all the teams playing,
All the teams playing.
all of them.
We had one game last night, which I want to talk about real quick. That was Tampa Bay at Toronto. Toronto won 5-2. Anthony Stolars, still getting all my names straight. Dude, he was freaking sweet in that. He had 32 rejections and only 2 goals given up. But William Nylander, 2 goals and an assist for Toronto. Just an awesome game, even though it was only game on the slate. So I watched it. I watched
And
it.
the reason, and the official reason the NHL gave for only one game last night, whether this is real or not, is because everybody had to travel.
Hey, it's fine. Every team in the league is playing tonight. We got Seattle hosting Colorado. Gobo, I can't wait to talk trash to you tomorrow morning because you know you're going to lose. Who are you guys playing?
Uh, we are playing the defending Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. I expect it to be a bloodbath.
The blood's
I
on your hands, Benny.
no, the blood will indeed
And the
be.
other game that I want to check out is the Jets Blues game. Two teams that are doing
ESPN's gonna have like a red zone thing tonight
really.
for, yeah. It's called like Frozen Frenzy or something like that. I don't know if it's on ESPN or ESPN2, but they're gonna have like a whip around show that going on tonight once all the games get going because they're all starting 15 minutes apart.
All right, that's good news. That's good news. I mean, if you're a hockey fan, only 4 other times, or this is the fourth time, or only 4 other times.
This is the fourth time.
So this is the fourth time, and we've got a new team in Utah, which I'm already loving watching them too. Um, they've
That
been
team was fun last year in Arizona.
yeah. So I mean, we'll see. Are they gonna,
They're packing that building too, though,
dude, are
in
they gonna
Utah.
be
They're
called the Utah Hockey Club? Is that what they're called?
No, they're getting a name next year, but I would honestly be fine if they kept the hockey
I
club thing.
saw
I
I
would.
saw the Glaciers. I saw
That
that.
was a rumor.
Is it just a rumor?
Yeah,
I Dude, I like the Utah Hockey Club. I really
me
do.
too.
I think
I, I, I think they should stick with it. They
it's
won't, but I think they
different.
should.
It's different. I mean, I didn't like the Commanders when they were the Washington football team. That's just stupid. But the hockey club, that's a name, dude. Like that's a name.
Like, just stick
Football
with
team is
that.
not a name. Hockey
Get a
club.
better logo, but stick with the name.
I love the colors. I mean, it's very Utah. I mean, if you think about the Jazz,
And here's the thing: Utah gets a lot of shit, and sometimes rightfully so. But it is one of the most beautiful states in the country. Period. I mean,
I can't argue, man. When you're driving down through those mountains, especially when there's snow on top of them, it is
it is gorgeous, and
picturesque.
it is one of the best states in the country for sure. Top seven, you think?
Top seven, what? In the whole
States in terms of like
beauty? No, I'd say
scenery.
top 12.
Yeah,
But
easily.
if we're talking like economically and socially and culturally, it's a bottom it's a bottom five. Yesterday, we got off on a bad note when you said that this is the worst thing for the possible World Series that it could be. I'm going to give you a chance today to retract that.
Not happening.
So you okay? And yesterday you said you got the Dodgers in five.
Correct.
So 4-1. That's a boring series in my opinion. That would suck. I don't want
It
that to
will be a boring
happen.
series.
I am ready to give my prediction today.
Okay.
I'm going to say Yankees in seven. I don't want that, but if it happens and I say that I'm right, I'll be good with it. If the Dodgers win in 7, I'll be equally happy. I just won't be right.
And if the Dodgers win in 4,
If the Dodgers win in 4, I will kneel before you on this show and say that you're the god of baseball. I don't see that happening, but God, I really regret saying that just now. But
I
that's how much I don't
regret
think.
hearing it if it makes you feel any better at all.
Well, you're not going to get much more glorifications from me unless you're right on this. Oh, and 4 seconds to go. The game's Friday night, by the way. That's our time for today, Ben.
Well, folks, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.